Hello everyone, welcome to Poles Apart. I'm going to be doing the West Ham preview for the Burnley and West Ham game, so let's get started. What can I say before this game? If we hadn't got the results against Chelsea and picking up a point against Newcastle, I'd be very worried about this one as well. I'm still a little bit nervous. Burnley are a very, very organised side, and I think we need to be taking every game like it's a cup final just to make sure that we're safe. The sooner the better. We don't want to be leaving it to the last couple of games, so we really need to get a push on. And like I said, Burnley are an extremely organised side. But the result against Chelsea, the point away at Newcastle, who are one of the informed sides, I think has given me a lot more optimism about the game. It can go either way. West Ham, we can tend to sit back, and allow teams to play against us. And I think if we do that, Burnley will use the wide areas. Our pitch is wide, they will go down those channels, put a lot of balls in the box. And let's face it, defensively, we haven't been great all season. And I think the full-back areas have been a problem area for us. Done it against Newcastle, even against Chelsea, all season it's been like that. So I think that's something that we certainly need to address, and we need to try and avoid that. Best way to do that really is to attack them. The way that Burnley, I think when I've seen, like when I've been looking on Sky Sports and just looking like the team first 11s, they tend to play a 4-4-2 with Dwight Neal playing just behind the main striker, Dwight McNeil, sorry, and he's a brilliant player. He can get out wide, but I think when we look at those lineups, they play Brownhill on the right side of midfield, and he's somebody who plays sort of central as well. So I think Burnley tend to look at a 4-4-2 and mix it up into a 4-3-3 when they can. And if that's the case, I think once we've got the ball, you put it out wide, use those spaces. We've got players who can do damage in the box. We've got Allaire if he's playing. We've got Antonio. He's always good for a goal when the ball's in the air. And Yarmolenko is extremely prolific. He's a prolific striker. I don't know why we've always played him out wide. I do think he should play up top, whether that be with Allaire, whether that be with Bowen or Antonio, and we just play the three. But I think those three don't change. I think those three need to play. So I have Antonio, Yarmolenko and Bowen, but I have Yarmolenko as the focal point with Antonio and Bowen running the channels. That would be my front three anyway. Obviously, if Allaire is fit, bring him off on the bench. Yarmolenko has done well. Done well when he came off the bench against Chelsea, and he did well against Newcastle as well. So my players that we need to really watch out for, I like Ben Mee at the back. He's a good player. There could be some good battles there. Trying to catch Bowen, going up against Antonio, who's extremely physical. Nick Pope, quality goalkeeper. So we're going to need to have a decent shooting boots on in order to grab a couple of goals. But yeah, Nick Pope, Ben Mee, Dwight McNeil, as I said. Another player I rate is Ashley Barnes. I don't know whether he'll be playing or not. Fingers crossed he don't, because I think he likes playing against West Ham. Yeah, there could be some good battles in this game. It's going to go, like I said, it'll go one or two ways. If we sit back and allow them to play, they're going to get similar results like they have done against us all the time. They're quite successful at the London Stadium. But if we attack this game, I don't see anything other than 3 points for us. If we play like we can do, we should be brushing that team. We should be brushing off Burnley. No disrespect to them, but we should be brushing them off and walking away with a comfortable 3 points and a much-needed 3 points. But yeah, they're my sort of. It solely comes down to how we approach the game. Because I think Burnley are organised, but they don't change the way that they play. Not that I've seen anyway in highlights. So I think if we mix it up a bit and just go out and attack it, that's it should be enough for the 3 points. Now, my starting 11 for the game, in an ideal world, would be Fabianski in goal. I would keep Fredericks at right back. I know a lot of people will don't think, you know, he should be playing. He should give Ben Johnson a chance, but I would like to see Ben Johnson at left back. Play him there, because I think that's where McNeil is going to go into those channels, and I think Ben Johnson is actually good enough to cope with him. So Ben Johnson left back, Fredericks right back. Obviously, Ogbonna, hammer of the year, in my opinion. Well, one of the two. It's out of him and Rice, but Ogbonna and Diop at the back. Then Rice, Souček and Fornals in midfield, with Yarmolenko up top and Antonio and Bowen just behind them. That would be my team. That would be the team that for me could get the 3 points. And fingers crossed they do. If we do attack the game, I reckon it'd be a 3-1 win West Ham. If we do sit back and allow them to play, I think it could quite easily be a 2-3-0 result for Burnley. So it literally could go either way. But they're my thoughts. Feel free to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Leave comments in the sections. I'd love to hear what everybody else thinks. And if you're follow me. Come on, your irons.
Hi everybody, Joe Redman here, and I'm a Burnley fan, and I run the Turfcast podcast and social media pages and YouTube channel. If you just want to give us a quick search, you search Turfcast podcast, and everything should come up there. We have podcasts, opinions, videos, that sort of thing, on all things Burnley Football Club. However, you boys are all West Ham fans. Shout out to Ian for reaching out to me, for asking to do this video. A lot of you all just avoid commenting on the hair at the minute. I've not had a chance to have it cut since lockdown yet. The barbers around here are far too busy. So I'm just going to give it a week and then go in it and do it that way. But anyway, let's look ahead to the game. I'm currently recording this on Tuesday, so let's look ahead to the game tomorrow between West Ham and Burnley. Obviously, it's taking place at the London Stadium. Kick-off is 8 o'clock. I can't keep up with all these kick-off times and stuff like that at the minute. Everything just seems to be changing all the time. But let's look ahead to the game. I think it's fair to say that it's far more important for West Ham, the game, than it is for Burnley. Obviously, West Ham needing the points to stay in the Premier League, whereas we want them to get into Europe. But that's a different debate. A few fans already saying that they don't want Europe because of the negative effect it can have on your squad. But for me, it's a case of what's the point in being in the Premier League if you're not going to continuously try and improve and strive for the best. I think you should be aiming for Europe. When you're in a position of aiming for Europe, it'd be just stupid for us to throw in the towel and say, oh, we don't want Europe because of what happened last time and we nearly got relegated. What you should do is get into Europe and then invest in the squad so you can handle it. Yeah, not a case of, oh, let's just finish 17th every season. But again, that's a debate that some Burnley fans are having. Like I said, I personally want to get into Europe, but however, I won't be losing any sleep if we don't. So yeah, I was disappointed with the draw against Sheffield United at the weekend because we were 1-0 up and threw it away due to some poor defending for one of their set pieces. However, it's one of them, like I'm not going to lose any sleep over it if we don't get Europe. But it is something that we do want to achieve. Of course it is, but again, it's not like you need the points like it is for West Ham fans. Having said that, I've looked at West Ham's remaining fixtures. You've got at this stage, I think you've got Bournemouth left, and you've got quite a few teams underneath you anyway, or in and around that area, should I say. I was speaking to a West Ham fan on the podcast this week, and he was telling me about all West Ham's remaining fixtures. And for me, I think you're going to be more than comfortable in stopping up. I think what you could do as well. Obviously, I believe that Haller's reportedly injured for the Burnley game. I think if I was West Ham, I wouldn't be focusing too much on the Burnley game. Yes, if you get 3 points, you're probably pretty much looking at safety, more or less guaranteed. Not mathematically, of course, but more or less guaranteed because of the remaining fixtures that you've got. However, if you look at the remaining fixtures you've got, I think you should be focusing more on some of the games against the teams around you. However, obviously, if you get 3 points against Burnley, you take the pressure off massively. So obviously, I understand if West Ham fans are targeting the Burnley game. However, if somebody like Haller has a bit of a knock, I wouldn't risk him. If I was a West Ham manager or West Ham in the West Ham management, I'd save him for the games against the teams in and around you. But like I said, I'm pretty confident that you boys will stay up. I know a lot of West Ham fans, and fair enough, will be looking at the Burnley game a potential way to win 3 points, and of course that's fair enough. You're playing us at home. We have a lot of injuries at the minute, and yeah, let's just chat about the position that we're in. Then obviously we're fighting because of the Everton Tottenham result last night. I believe we've gone into 10th place. We did creep up to 9th, but I believe we're now in 10th place. And it's a fantastic achievement for us if you just look at the amount of injuries that Burnley have got and the position that we were in on New Year's Day after losing to Aston Villa and after a very, very poor performance at home to the team that's looking like they're going to get relegated, to be fair. I thought we might be in a bit of trouble here. We might have to have a relegation battle. But thankfully, no, we came good. Same thing as sort of last season. We came good. Obviously, last season a little bit different because we started very, very poorly last season, whereas the start this season was a little bit more stop-start, more than it being like a poor start like it was the season before. We were picking up wins and then just getting pegged back, and weren't really pulling away, not from the relegation battle, but from the teams just sort of like above the relegation battle. However, thanks to the recent form that we've been in, which is just 1 defeat in 11 Premier League games, we've got 22 points out of the last 33 available. It's seen us pull away now, and as mentioned, we're knocking on the door of Europe rather than not looking at the basement trapdoor. But I think for me, looking at that basement trapdoor, like I said, I think West Ham will be fine. Norwich are gone, obviously. They had a couple of chances after lockdown to get a few wins, but they've come into it with wrong attitude. They've come into it with we're already down sort of attitude, or that's how it seems anyway. And yeah, they're not going to get out of it. And I think Bournemouth have looked absolutely shocking. I can't see them picking up another win between now and then and the end of the season. And the same with Aston Villa as well. I mean, I know they got beat against Liverpool at the weekend, but how poor did Liverpool look to start off with? Obviously, they were poor against Man City. Obviously, the title headache, celebrations headaches are going to have a big factor. Liverpool, of course, are a fantastic side this season. But Villa should have really got something out of that game, I feel, and obviously the games previous as well, where you could probably highlight more that they've been pretty poor. But I think for me, yeah, it's going to be them three. It's going to be Norwich. It's going to be Bournemouth. It's going to be Villa. I can't see any of them three pulling out of it. If any of them three do pull out of it, it's going to be Watford that replace them, I think, because they've looked poor as well. We played them recently, and they just offered absolutely nothing, and they were quite easy to bully. As Troy Deeney put it, says we always get bullied by Burnley, and that's exactly what we did. I'm not a fan of that sort of terminology, to be fair. I think there's a lot more to Burnley as a footballing side that a lot of people give us credit for. I think we do play some good football at times. I think a lot of people will say, oh, you're just long ball merchants. That's not the case at all. We can play a compact style rather than a defensive style, I like to call it. Basically means that we come back, the two banks of four, we'll set up. This is obviously when we're sitting back or defending a lead or whatever. But we can play a very, very good compact style, which means we will push the players out wide. So if you've got the ball, you've got to get out wide, which you've got to get past the likes of Charlie Taylor or Phil Bardsley. And if you do manage to get past them, because they are playing like more of a central role for a fullback at this point, you're going to have to cross the ball in. And we know 9 times out of 10 that Ben Mee and James Tarkowski are just going to mop it up all day long. However, having said that, let's just have a look at some of the injuries that Burnley have got. I know I mentioned that Haller could be missing for the game on Wednesday. But let's just look at Burnley's injury list. We've got Ben Mee, who's been absolutely fantastic since we came back, out for the season. We've got Jack Cork, who's been fantastic in the middle. A little bit hit and miss, to be fair, Jack Cork, but he does a lot of the unrecognisable stuff. And I think we are going to miss him as well. He's out for the season. We've got Matthew Lawton out for the season. Robbie Brady's already been out for the majority of the season. However, he has been named on the bench again recently. Chris Wood managed to make an appearance last time, but he's been injured. Ashley Barnes is also out for the season as well. So I think if it's a good time to play Burnley, I think, for any opposition team, and for a team that's fighting for their life, as West Ham currently are, although, as I said, I'm confident you will be fine. I think, yeah, it's a good time to play Burnley, because you're going to go into the game, you're going to be up for it. And I think you're going to come at us, and we're going to be a little bit slow to start. We're going to have Kevin Long at the back because there's no other options. And we're going to have Eric Peters on left midfield, maybe because there's no other options. However, like I said, Brady and Johan Berg Gudmundsson have recently started to come back into the side, so we could see one of them two starting, but I think the game's going to come a bit too early for me. So I think we're going to have Eric Peters in left mid, who's at left back, so he's out of position, and then just a few other players coming back and hopefully getting some minutes back into the legs. But for us, it's not a massively important game, like I said, as it is for you boys. But let's just have a quick look at our probable lineup, because, like I said, Ben Mee's out, so Kevin Long will replace him. So I'm going to guess at Nick Pope at the back. You've got Charlie Taylor at the left, Kevin Long and James Tarkowski in the middle, and then Phil Bardsley on the right, because obviously Matthew Lawton's out injured for the rest of the season, as mentioned. Then on left midfield, you're going to have to probably put Eric Peters in there, out of position. Then you're going to have to put Ashley Westwood, and in place of Jack Cork, Josh Brownhill, because Jack Cork's out for the rest of the season. However, having said that, Josh Brownhill has looked fantastic since lockdown. Obviously, he didn't get a chance to play before lockdown after signing from Bristol City in January, but he has looked fantastic. Thanks to Jeff Hendrick leaving, not signing his contract that we offered him, Josh Brownhill's now come in and done really, really well. Then on the right-hand side of midfield, you're going to have Dwight McNeil. Obviously, you boys on the wall about Dwight McNeil. Grabbed the goal against you last season, which were a massive win for us at the time, to be fair. And up top, I don't know what Dyche will do up top. That's probably the only place where you can't really predict it. Knowing Dyche, he will go with Vidra and Jay Rodriguez, because Chris Wood's on his way back from injury, so he probably won't want to risk him. I know Dyche takes a long time to get players back into the side from injury for whatever reason. But if it were me, I'd personally play Jay Rod and Chris Wood. Put Vidra on the bench. He had a bit of a poor game against Sheffield United, and probably should have won it. We should have been 3-0 up by the time that they got the equaliser, to be fair, in that game. Vidra missed a chance, and so did Dwight McNeil, and then some poor defending from us meant that Sheffield United could get the equaliser. But anyway, that's my preview of the game. I'll just quickly do a score prediction. I'm going to go 1-1. I think Burnley have got enough quality in their side to get a point at West Ham. Having said that, I think you boys have got enough quality to get something against us as well. So I think both fans will be looking at it thinking, yeah, we can win this. So it's one of them. I think a lot of games involving Burnley at the minute, with the amount of injuries that we've got, can go either way. If we didn't have as many injuries, I'd be a lot more confident. I'd probably be saying that we might be able to upset it, sort of like prey on the. But I think if the fans were there, to be fair, I think it'd work in our favour. Because obviously everyone knows the fans at West Ham can get on the players back quite quickly, as we saw a couple of years ago when it all boiled over against Burnley, actually. And all the frustrations that you boys had with the board and things like that, all sort of that came onto the pitch and stuff. I think that would actually work in our favour if the fans were there. But I still think we can sort of like hold it tight for a little bit, maybe get you boys a little bit anxious, and then try and hit you there, and hopefully some mistakes will creep in and things like that. But I'm going to go 1-1. I just want to say a good game of football, and I hope everybody does too. But thank you, Ian, for asking me to do this. Apologies that we're a little bit late, but I hope this video is good enough for you. Thank you.